Hi there, this is John Barton from JB Cases. So I'm making a video today to talk about something really important, and of course it's going to be queue protection as pertains to our cases. Earlier today, I noticed a thread on Facebook about a gentleman was asking about a particular brand of cases and if anyone had had any problems with them. Not our brand of cases, and I'm not going to mention this brand of cases. But I noticed on the thread that a person made a comment that I didn't agree with, and I stated my disagreement. So I'm going to go ahead and I have to tell you this to preface this because it's important as to what's going to come next. So the person said, he said basically if, I'll just quote it, he said, if you take care of a cure case, it will treat you right. Some things are abused, and therefore people say it's junk or not good, but in reality, treat something with respect and it will serve you right. Now, I don't think that's good advice. Basically what I said was, that's a very holistic approach. Even if the case is not well built or actually dangerous to the queue, treating it with respect will take care of that. Then I said, truthfully, even though you don't agree, the other man, sometimes when you use a case normally, it falls apart because it's a piece of crap. And worse, sometimes when you do nothing wrong, your queue gets damaged in a case that inadequately protects it. But shit case manufacturers love it when people blame the user for anything that goes wrong with a case. Because that's how I felt that the guy was saying it. He goes, some things are abused and therefore people say it's junk or not good, but in reality treat something with respect and it will serve you well. So basically, this gentleman is he's basically telling people that any case will do, just be nice to the case and the case will be nice to you, which is, it's BS. But so then the guy comes back and he goes, so you're telling me that JB cases don't have issues? He goes, but I know they have, and I had one and I've seen plenty of others with issue, but it's okay, it happens to all cases. So my question there then is, if you're saying that a JB case has issues and has problems for the customer, for the user, or for the queue, then what does treating the case nice, how does that solve those problems? It doesn't. So you're contradicting yourself when you say that. So the guy comes back, a customer asks, what issues do they have? So the guy says, when the case is full and you're putting or taking your cues out of the bag, they bang on each other because of the tight fit. That's a known issue. That is not true, by the way. That is not true. And needing to use the sleeve for rubber grips is also inconvenient. Okay, it might be inconvenient, but I can't control what all the queue manufacturers do. If they want to use spongy rubber grips, okay, then maybe sometimes you might need, normally you don't need it. You don't need these for our cases, but, if someone has an extra spongy grip, okay, we provide a sleeve for that if they want to use it. Zippers do break, straps do fray. Okay, so number one, our zippers don't really break. It's very, 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 very rare that any of our zippers break. Okay, he's talking about JB cases here, so I have to rebut these points. Straps do fray, and let's see what else here he says. Sorry, I got to get back to the Facebook. He says straps do fray, and come on. Sorry about this. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. oh, straps do fray, and he said, it's still a nice case, I have one myself. Okay, well, thank you that you have our case, you know, and thank you for your honesty about you know, what you think is wrong with the cases. But the fact is that what you're saying happens to our cases is either not a problem or it's not true. So anyway, the one customer, the next guy says, well, I've never had any issues with my cues banging around. And then the other guy comes back and he says, well, if I said banging around, that's not, see, this is where language makes a point. He said banging around, but the cues don't bang around in our cases. He says, what I meant is taking or putting them back in, they hit each other because it's so tight. This is not true, and I'm going to show you. Okay, but anyway, this is the major point now. A little further down in the thread, a guy says, I had a mint original BK and a friend grabbed and just pulled straight up and put a scratch from a JP up most of it from being so tight of a fit. I sold it the next day. So I don't understand what he means about sold it the next day. Did he sell the case or did he sell the cue? I don't know. However, I'm going to let you guys read this here. I'm going to let you read this. So what he says, sorry, I'm really terrible at getting this thing to set where it's supposed to. Try it again. Okay, can you guys read that? Probably not. All right, anyway, maybe I can put it up on the bigger camera here. Here. There we go. Come on, focus. So I had an original mint BK. I guess he means Predator break. And a friend grabbed it and just pulled straight up and put a scratch from the JP up most of it from being so tight of a fit. I sold it the next day. All right, listen. I said to the guy, I said, look, I don't think that happened. I don't think it's pretty much physically impossible to happen the way it's described here. But I have a couple issues with this. Number one, this customer, this person, Dana Hone, he said to me, he's never, ever, ever has he said to me that this happened until this moment. He's never even said it. He's reporting it here, but he's never said it to me. Number two, the way he described it happening is almost impossible. I mean, it is impossible to happen that way, what he's describing. And I'm going to prove that to you in just a moment. Lastly, what did he sell? Did he sell the case? So I don't understand why I don't get a chance to address this issue, because cue protection is very important to me. He knows this. So if a case of mine damaged his cue somehow, then I would want to know about that, because I would want to try to duplicate it. And if I can duplicate it, I of course want to replace or repair his cue. And of course I want to get the case back and figure out what's going on, and then I want to repair or replace that. And I want to change the way we make cases to make sure it doesn't happen anymore, if in fact we're at fault there. So, you know, I'm not denying that the cue somehow got scratched. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm going to say that I don't believe that it happened the way that this gentleman is describing here. So with that, let's take a look at the case. And we're going to do a 3x6, and we're going to do a 2x5, and we're going to do a 4x8. And I'm going to show you that the way he described it cannot happen. So then these guys are like, and if you have joint protectors on your cues, it's even tighter fit, hard to grab. All this is nonsense, guys. All this is nonsense. I've done many videos on this, and this is going to be another one in that series, but here we go. So, okay. Starting with, this is a 3x6 fully loaded. The closest cue I have to a Predator BK is a Predator Sport here, something like that. And it's got a rubber wrap that's similar to this one. Which goes, all the way down to the butt. And pretty tacky wrap on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out. I've got it fully loaded, all these with joint protectors. I don't have a joint protector for the Predator here, but I don't need it. So we're going to pull it straight up and see what happens here. But before I do that, I want to show you something. I'm going to take my camera here from my phone and put it up here so you guys can see this. And I'm going to show you that nothing's touching in here. So let's put that up under there so you guys can really see it. And we'll blow it up. Make sure I get this on so you can see that nothing is touching. You guys see that? There's plenty of room between every part on this case. You guys see this? So you'll notice that every part of this case, there's plenty of room. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and go out of this real quick. Let's put on the light so we can see it. Let me see if I can get the camera back. Oh, it went off. All right, sorry. My other light's still on? Yep. So there you go. You see that? There's plenty of room in there. Can you see it? Plenty of room, plenty of space between every part. Okay? Sorry. Trying to go backwards here. There we go. Trying to go slow so you can see every part. All right. So having done that, now let's go ahead and do this. Now this is the worst case scenario right here when you're trying to pull a cue out. So we're gonna try to do the worst thing that you could do, which is take a rubber gripped cue and pull it up through the thickest parts. So all the thickest shafts right here. So all the thickest parts, it's going to basically look like this. So if I lean these cues over here, if I lean these right here like that, and I put this here like this is what it's going to look like as it comes up. You see that? The thickest parts are going to be in the same space right there. So watch what happens. Okay? Pulling up. Now we're going to come straight up. Okay? The rubber grip is starting to catch. Here we go. Coming straight up. Nothing touched. There's nothing in there that has touched or in any way come up. You'll notice here, this is perfectly fine. There's no such thing as any kind of a scratch on here anywhere. It has the rubber grip on the bottom, or the rubber bumper on the bottom. This bumper is really tough on fabric. Not a problem, nothing in here. Now, let's put it back in. Again, this is the worst possible way to do this because I'm not relieving any pressure here from the foam rubber. So, I'm going to go and I'm going to slide it in. Push it down with one finger. This is what they call tight, people. See? One finger. Two fingers now. I'm going to reach in and grab it. and pull up. One more time. Coming up. Pulling it out straight up. You'll notice nothing touched. No problems whatsoever. Now if I take it and put it this direction, still nothing touching here. So if we grab our camera again, you'll notice that there's still plenty of room in between the parts. Not a problem. If I want it out, all I have to do is reach in, pull up, a little bit of pressure, pull up, straight up. Not a problem. See that? We'll do it one more time. Go in this direction. Pulling straight up. Nothing. Now, what happens if I take a shaft out? So let's imagine for a moment that I took a shaft out. One shaft. Just took out one shaft. Reach in. Pull. No problem. So, you get the benefit of having fully padded protection in here. And all you have to do is be a little bit cognizant of how you take stuff out. This guy said that his friend reached in and pulled it out and scratched the cue up, more than halfway up the cue. He said, what did he say there? He said, most of the way up the cue. Guys, that's impossible. It's impossible that that happened. Okay, that way, the way he described it. Even if you pull it up like this and you go sideways, look at me. I'm going sideways now as I'm pulling it. Even if you go sideways, you can barely impact it. So, you know, I don't recommend going sideways. You should never do that. You should go straight up, straight down, and do it. Okay, now let's pull the other ones out. No problem. Easy peasy. Now the other guy said, well, you bang your cues in when you put them in. Really? Here. Even if they touch like that, even if they did that, they're barely touching. But if you set it in there, push down, look, one finger, like that. Let's pull this one out. There you go. No problems. I mean, really, guys, that's it. You know, that's it. You can put your cues in either way too. You can put your joint protectors down. You can put them up, whatever way you want to do it. But if you have a rubber gripped cue, you can always put your cue in. If you feel like it, you can do this. Watch this. You can put shafts in this way. Say you take two shafts, put them in this way like that. Take your rubber grip cue. Put it in like that. Now what? There you go. So easy to take out. Like that. Two fingers. Easy. And that's one of the tackiest wraps there is. Right there. That's one of the stickiest wraps on cues. Okay. Now, let's do a 2x5. Okay, so I don't have any new 2x5s here, but I got a couple used ones. So we'll start with this one. We'll take this and put it in, and again, this is going to be like the worst possible way to put this in, as far as inserting it and taking it out. So the guy didn't specify what size case that he had. He just made a snide comment and said if he buys another JB case, it's going to be a 4x8 that he's going to use as a 2x4. You know, which is fine. You can do that if you want. I mean, our 4x8s are smaller than most other people, so, you know, our 3x6s, for example, people think that they're a 2x4. But this is what these guys don't understand, is that I'm the only one that stands here in front of you guys doing stuff like this to prove my point. And if somebody does find something wrong with our case design that needs to be improved, then I want to know about it. I want to improve it. Okay, so right now, I've got this. I'm going to take this out the worst possible way for this type of cue in this situation. So this is a 2x5. As you can see, I've got one butt in the center and two butts on the outside, all joint protectors here. So now we're going to try to duplicate. The guy didn't specify what size case he had, so I'm going to try the three main sizes and we'll see what happens. So here, once again, now you're going to notice this is going to come up a little bit. It's going to be hard to take out. I would never tell anybody to try to take their cue out this way in this size case, no matter what cue it is. You want to take a shaft out first, relieve some of the pressure, then pull it out, and that's fine. Because inside these tubes, there are, let's see, where did he put the, here we go. Inside these tubes, there are foam rubber is here. This is where the extra foam rubber is. So if you look at this, inside here, it's approximately right here. Right about there is where the extra foam rubber is. And that's there for a reason. It's there to arrest the movement of the cue when the cues are in the case. You don't want the cue moving around. You know, you don't want it to fall out of the case. So you want it to stay inside the case and stay secure until you want to take it out. And when you want to take it out, you take a little bit of care. You know, take an extra 10 seconds, an extra 5 seconds, and pay attention to what you're doing. All right, so this is the worst possible way. I would never tell somebody to take their cue out this way. But what we're going to do now is we're going to try to scratch it and damage it. I want to try to damage this cue the way that this gentleman said. So just a reminder, he said, my friend, this is his words, my friend reached in and pulled the cue straight up and scratched the cue on the joint protectors. Well, guys, there's no real way that that can happen right here. But let's try anyway. Okay? So we're pulling it straight up. Okay, now again, this is going to be harder. So I'm going to have to hold it as I come up. Okay, now look, it's not touching anything at this point. You hear that? That was because I had to release it. When it released, it banged against it. Not banged, but it touched the other part. Nothing. No problems whatsoever right there. Certainly not a 15-inch or more scratch on it, as claimed. You know, so it did not happen. It did not happen the way that was described here. So I'm sorry, Dana, but it did not happen this way. So if your friend told you that he pulled it straight out and it got all scratched up along this cue, then he's not telling you the truth. Okay? It did not happen that way. So you can come to my booth. You can come to any of the shows that we come to. We can try to duplicate this live, and I'm confident that you're not gonna be able to make it happen either. So I've got, you know, thousands of dollars to bet against it. Okay, but anyway, let's take a look at this case then and say, well, okay, what would be a better way to do it? Well, first of all, if you're going to have a case like this and you're going to use a rubber grip, then the first thing I would do is I would put it in one of the side cavities because they're a little bit larger. So let's put this in the middle. Take the rubber grip cue, right? We're going to put it here on the side. Okay. Take that, push it in. And see, part of this is, when this is in here like this, part of this is that the foam rubber separates everything. So it separates all the parts. It does not force them together. It's not tight, so it's snug, but the snugness is because the foam rubber is separating the parts, not pushing them together. So anyway, let's reach in and grab this one. Right? Once again. So what I would do is I would take a shaft out first. Take a shaft out. Reach in, get your rubber grip cue. Pull straight up, take it out. You'll notice no sound, nothing. But let's go ahead and do it the harder way. Let's put the joint protector shafts with the joint protectors in. Everything's in. Now let's pull it out and see what happens. Okay. Nothing. No problems. Did not impact this part of the cue at all. Now, what happens if I want to put it in this way? Okay. Get my finger in between. Try to pull up on it. Okay, it's a little bit tight in there. So what am I going to do? Take out a shaft. Now reach in with my thumb. Pull up. Okay, so I'll take out another shaft. Now I reach in 2 fingers and pull up. Here we go. Once I get a grip on it, there it is. See how easy that is? Now watch this. See, there's dozens of ways to do this stuff. Watch this. Shaft up. Tips up. Not a single one of these ways that I'm showing you results in this cue being scratched. Now watch. There we go. Pull up, and there it is. Let's try that again. Okay. Pull up, there we go. Done. So that's it. Easy ways to do it. No problem. If you want, you could do it this way. Put this in. Take these two. So you've got 2 up and 2 down. Now watch. Once again, it's not going to result in any kind of damage to the cue. See? I mean, I take this seriously, guys. This is the whole point of case making for us. It's not about the prettiest case. You know, it's not about the most colorful or having the most pockets or anything like that. It's about the most protection. Now, I will literally figure out a way to make this interior, you know, for lack of a better word, idiot-proof. There's trade-offs here that you have to think about when you do a padded interior. So one of them obviously is the rubber grip cues. Another one is cue lengths, being able to reach in and actually get the cue. You know, so what do you do when you have a 29-inch part and a 31-inch part? So you have to be able to accommodate both of those. There's lots of things that can be done on the interiors of these cases, but when these guys are out there talking about problems that don't actually exist, that are not epidemic, and they're describing, they're trying to claim that the case caused damage in ways that it couldn't possibly have happened, then I'm going to rebut that. You know, I'm going to say no. I'm trying to duplicate that, and if I can't duplicate it, then the only thing left is for me to see the actual case where you claim it happened and try to duplicate it there. And if you say, well, the case is long gone and the cue's long gone, then I don't know what you're claiming, you know? Are we just supposed to just believe you? This is where it's not fair, guys. When someone makes a claim and nobody's around to rebut it, then the readers will just believe that that's the truth. So that's why I do this, you know? And I don't care if someone's a good customer of mine. If they make a claim that's not right, I'm going to rebut that. And I'm going to try my best to duplicate the problem, because cue protection is extremely important to me. And if I cannot duplicate the problem, then I'm just going to have to conclude that whatever they're claiming didn't happen the way they said it happened, or didn't happen at all. So, all right, moving on. Let's go to the 4x8. So right here, we're going to put 4 butts and 8 shafts in here. Start with the rubber grip cue. Okay, and we'll pull all these in. So this is what he said. He said, I'm gonna, if I buy another one of your cases, I'm gonna, and he's not meaning to buy another one of my cases. This gentleman has talked to me a lot, you know, and I don't understand why he would never have said something to me. If I had a case and the whole cue got scratched up and I could get a hold of the maker, I'd want to be talking to the maker of the case and say, hey, dude, you know, you owe me a cue. But anyway. So we're going to try with this case. We're going to fill it up and we're going to try to do the same thing. We're going to try to damage it. I want to show you something. Watch this. I don't know if you guys can see this while it goes down. Sorry, I got my hat in the way. But it's going to push these two out. So as this goes down right here, it's going to push those other 2 shafts out. So there's space in between every part on here. This is by design. So we're going to load this up, fully loaded. No parts can touch each other. So nothing is touching right there. Now let's try it again. Let's go with a full. Let's reach in and grab this piece. See if I can get it out. Again, this is the worst possible way. The worst possible way to try to take this particular cue out of this case right here. So I'm not taking shafts out first. Normally I would want to take a shaft out first. Give it a little bit of extra room. See? Give it a little bit of extra room here to move around. But because of what we're trying to do here, I'm going to take it out the worst possible way right here, and we're going to try and scratch this cue and break it, okay? Or harm it. Here we go. You ready? Pulling straight up. Now I am holding the case here. I am holding the case because obviously it's the hardest way to do it when you're going with this rubber grip against the thickest parts of the cues. But watch what happens here. Now, you hear that tiny little click? That was the foam rubber releasing and touching it. But look, nothing. No problems whatsoever. Certainly not a 15-inch or more scratch on it anywhere on here. Now watch. What happens if I put it in like this? Right? Reach in and grab it. Pull up. No problems. So same thing applies. Now, take it out. Let's put this in. Now watch what happens here without the other shaft in here. So I took a shaft out first. I could take 2 shafts out if I wanted to, but I just took 1 out. Now watch what happens and how much easier it is to take this out. And that's the grippiest cue. This is the grippiest cue that you can get right now, I think, you know, with the most tacky grip on it. So that's not even using our Q sleeve or anything to put it in there, which you can do if you want it to be a little bit easier to take it out. But for the most part, you don't even need the Q sleeves with our case. But that's how they come out. You know, it's just that easy. For real. So if you take just a little bit of care when you put them in, you won't have any problem. You just simply look for where the hole is, find it, put it in. Now in this case, because this particular cue has this type of rubber grip on it, or rubber bumper, this bumper is incredibly tacky and grippy and wants to grab on everything. That's when you would take a shaft out. When you're loading the case, simply put it in, and there you go. And then put your shaft in. And that's it. And that's a snug fit, guys, not a tight fit. You know, non-case makers are telling you, trying to give you advice on buying cases, and the fact is that a lot of times they don't even really know what they're talking about. So yes, I totally respect people's personal experience, but I have to contrast that with my knowledge, my personal knowledge of these cases. Because I take them all apart. I build them, I take them all apart, I've designed everything here. If something's wrong about how these cases work, it's my fault. If something's right, you know, that's also to my credit. So, and I'm not saying that the way the cases are built right now is the best possible way to ever build a case, or it's the best possible way that we will ever build a case. However, I will always get on here and defend ourselves, defend our product against claims that cannot be proven or cannot be duplicated. Okay? I'm sorry, that's the way it's got to go. And if you guys, if the guys that prompted this video take offense to that and decide they're not going to be my customer and they're going to talk bad about me, or, you know, they're going to be upset, I'm sorry. You know, that's just the way it's got to be then. I want to have, you know, I want to have happy customers, and I want to have people be happy with us. One thing I hear a lot is, well, you know, JB cases are great, but John Barton is not, or whatever. The thing is that I want accuracy in how our product is described and used, and the experiences that go along with it. I know that often people will go out there and tell other people things. Dude, I sit around at the pool room all the time and I hear people talking about cues and talking about cases and other things, and I just hear lots of things that are wrong. And just to kind of give you an analogy, if I tried to sit around and talk about cars, and there was a car guy sitting next to me that really knew about cars, he would just be shaking his head going, this dude doesn't know shit. So the equivalent of of what this guy was saying was any case will do as long as you treat it right. That's like saying any car will do as long as you treat it right, even if the engine is failing, you know? So I go out and I wash my car every day and I keep it nice and clean and I keep the oil change and everything. But if the block is cracked, the block is cracked, you know? Or if something on the design is not right, then it's going to fail no matter how nice I am to the car. So my friend Don told me earlier, he is a car guy, by the way. He said, chrome doesn't get you home. You know, so your car can be as pretty as you want it to be, but if the engine isn't running, it's not getting you home. So you can put as many coats of wax on your car and be as nice and respectful to your car as you want, but if your engine's broke, it's broke. And the same thing applies to pool cue cases. Don't let anybody get out there and tell you that any case will do as long as you just take care of it, because that's nonsense. And then when I say it's nonsense and they come back at me with, well, your cases have problems and da-da-da-da-da, okay, prove it. Prove it. Because I'm standing here willing to show you guys how my cases work, and I'm willing to prove what I say. Are you willing to prove what you say about my product? I don't think so. But if you are, here I am. I'm easy to find. We'll get the video going when you come, and you can show the world exactly what you're saying about my product. And here's what's going to happen. If in fact you're right, then I'll make it right with you. If we damage the cue, I'll make it right. If you're wrong, I hope that you'll admit it. But at least people will see it. But if you're right and there's something that I really need to fix, I'll fix it. You know, I can make a case any way you want it to be made. So even if my design doesn't suit you and you say, well, I don't like the way you design that, can you do this, this, or this? Sure, I'll do it for you. You know, I'll do whatever it takes to make you happy. But the only thing I won't compromise on is I won't compromise on the cue protection. That's it. So I'll find a way to make it work the way you want it to work and still protect the cues. But don't go out there and tell people that the case caused damage when it didn't. Because when you describe something, when you say, my friend reached in and pulled it out and wrecked a brand new BK Rush cue, I'm going to take that seriously. And I'm going to try to duplicate it. You know, because I don't want that to happen to your cue. And I certainly don't want you out there telling people that it happened to your cue because of my case. If it's not true. You know, if it's true, sure, go ahead, tell people if you want. But if it's true, you ought to be able to duplicate it. So if you can't duplicate it and I can't duplicate it, we just have to consider this myth busted. All right. That's it, guys. So thank you for your time. I know, as usual, this takes it's a long time, but this is important. You invest a lot of money in your cues, and I invest a lot of time trying to protect those cues. So there you go. Not every case is great, and not every case is going to be great if you just respect it, all right? Cases are going to be great because they're built great, and that takes time and dedication, and that's what I promise you that we put into every case. Thank you. Bye-bye.